now Mr. Muktar Mohammed. He's the CEO Finance with Muktar. Join me via Zoom. Great to have you on the show, sir. And TGIF.
Thank you, Reladi. Yes, T2 is here to stay. Global best practice is back. I'm excited about the Nigerian market when we try to do what is done globally. So, Ladi, is good news for institutional investors, it's good news for retail investors, it's good news for trader. You know the saying in a local palace, money in a time. So this time we are beginning to get value. It's good that the time in times of return of your money now will be quicker. Two days you sell in 2 days, you get your return, you can reinvest within 2 days. I think it's a lovely idea from the Security and Exchange Commission. I think hopefully one day we'll go into 24-hour settling. But this is a good place to start.
Right, and if you need that urgent 2K, I guess one day struck off from that transaction settlement, and you just have like 2 days at this point. So how would you describe conversations going on right now in the space?
I think, Ladi, the government of Nigeria should also learn from their parastatals or some of these other agency or the private sector. It was an ongoing conversation. It was not you said, okay, this is what you want to do. You come and tell us what you want to do. They engage the stakeholders. There was a time that they do like a test run of it. They came back to the stakeholder. They looked at it. What are we going to do? What do you think we should do better? How do you think this can be achieved? They did all that before coming to what we are seeing now. I think for me, that's a good thing that we're seeing about the private sector engaging the major player. And that's why we're excited when the NSC, it's before used to be like a government private sector, now moved into a private sector. So hopefully that's what we intend to see one day of NMPC. So we begin to see things being done very, very, very well. Remember again, they are also talking about trading closing by 5 p.m. and that will also give room to deepen the market, inflow of liquidity. And this is an ongoing conversation now. They are looking at it with the brokers, with the traders, with the investors. That is the way to go. So I must commend the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the Security and Exchange Commission, and the clearinghouse, Center Security Clearinghouse, for a brilliant job they have done thus far.
All right, let's pivot now to some of the listed big stocks right there. Recently, we did see that news about Presco, where the Edo State government was said to have revoked their land title. But we've heard statements now from Presco and from the Edo State government distancing themselves from that publication. Tell me, how are you seeing what's played out so far?
Well, I hope it's not politics. Presco is one of the big players in the agricultural sector. One of the good news that we've had about the agricultural sector, you've seen that company grow in bounds with investors from a low of about 200 to a high of about 1,400. They are also involved in a right issue. You can imagine what that would have done for their right issue. Maybe it would have been a lot of investors would have seen that news and not be able to would not want to take their right. I'm also commend the Edo State government for coming out within 24 hours to rebuke that allegation, and also the company also for putting out a statement said nothing like that happened. Those are the type of news investors need at a time like this, when they are a little bit confused if really what is going on is true. But again, thank God that has been resolved, and I think we should also learn in terms of utterances and what comes out from the social media. I'm sure some investors may have lost hope in that and may have gone and begin to sell their Presco. But I think it's a good thing. The response was good, and I think investors are happy for it.
Yeah, but if you look, around Nigeria now, there's so much happening, when it comes to, land titles. We see, lands, being revoked. We've seen the drama that's played out in Abuja, so far. So what is this telling us about, title security in Nigeria, and how does it affect, investor confidence, international investors and local investors, in your opinion?
Ladi, I think some years ago we talked about the Land Use Act. And I remember the then President Goodluck Jonathan was trying to do something about the Land Use Act. And I don't think that was done because, again, the land itself, especially when it comes to agricultural land, we've been seeing that community don't own agricultural land, government own all the lands. That is one. In the other hand, lands like that, agricultural land cannot be used to get collateral from government. These were all things that were work in progress. I don't think that the committee concluded its job. I think it's high time we look at that Land Use Act. Some people say this act has been in existence throughout the colonial era, and I think we should work on it to improve it to deal with modern times. Then we'll not be having situations like this. How can you be revoking a land of a company that have been in existence for over 30 years? I think those are things that we really need to look at the Land Use Act, especially when it comes to agriculture and also when it comes to companies that are dealing in agriculture. Now, don't forget that we are trying to encourage agricultural sector to grow. We are trying to see agriculture as another income for government to drive in foreign effects into the Nigerian market. So we need to think about that Land Use Act, work on it, and make it to be in turn with the reality that we have on ground now.
All right, so let's piggyback to the NGX now. We're going to a new trading month. Festivities are upon us at this point. What's the trade for December?
Ladi, is always dirty December coming, and retail investors like you especially, Ladi, I know you'll be exiting to make sure you enjoy your December. Institutional investors will be rebalancing their portfolio and also looking at good entry points, especially, January, February is that huge month in the market where you begin to get those news of dividend payouts. So what do I expect going on through? I still expect same, ups and downs. But like I always say, what is happening now is not new, but they have come with a lot of other new things added to it. The capital gain tax, we have clarity on that, but still investors are still apprehensive because the clarity has not been matched with actions. And so I expect that going through the month of December, you see those oscillations between the bears and the bull. But what normally happens in the market by the middle of December, you begin to see a turn in terms of price of equity, especially stocks that have very strong fundamental, try to finish the year on a high. And then you go into January and February, like I told you, with those expectant results, either being priced in or investors are waiting for the result to come out. So if you ask me what will happen from now till the end of the year, I'll say value investment will be key, institutional portfolio assessment, and then retail investors like Ladi will be looking at dirty December to exit the market and maybe come back in January and see how they can walk through the capital gain tax.
I guess the only kind of investors I can be talking about, taking profit now, are the investors actually made profit and, got into the right stocks and, saw some kind of multiplier that you can take some out. At this point, I hope everybody made profit, though, Mr. Muktar. But, at this point, we've seen recent data from the CBN that's showing us now the PMI data for November. It came out really fast. At this point, we're seeing expansion for 12 consecutive months. So I guess this also, goes into the positive story for the Nigerian economy. Are you still seeing that positivity going into, 2026?
Yes, I think so, Ladi. FX has stabilized to about 1,450. We're expecting that going into 2026, we might even see that come down. 2026, Ladi, don't forget, again, it's an election year. A lot of liquidity will be awash in Nigeria, so there'll be a lot of consumption, and that also will help the consumer price index. So I'm positive about going into 2026 as regard the price consumer index. I think I'm very positive about that. I think we'll continue to see that as the economy continue to grow and as a lot of Nigerians begin to enjoy a little bit of stability in their finances because they can now be able to plan with what they have. So definitely, I'm among those that think going into 2026, we'll continue to see those index keep growing.
All right, definitely, I'm sharing your optimism too. Thank you so much, Muktar Mohammed, CEO, Finance with Muktar. Please enjoy the Friday.
Thank you, Ladi.